Good morning, everybody. Well, yesterday we got exactly what we expected. Wasn't pleasant. Just ping pong, but could be more of the same. That Jolt report really got the market cracking the last time. But this morning we see interest rates are up a bit more again. They're getting a little extended. Yesterday we talked about the target area up there, up around here, up around 5%. I saw a guy supposed to be I don't know where he was from. He was titled as the second most accurate analyst, um, maybe a year ago, whatever. I guess when they, I don't know, rate them, whatever. Anyway, all I could say, the numbers he came up with, he must have just looked to the left to win that award, because it's exactly what he said this was headed. Anyway. 10 years up there, or 30 years, I'd say, is up there. I got an alert over here. I'll just drag that up a little bit under this week's low. So they are getting extended, and this is what we were looking for to potentially set up a low. The dollar still going up. The markets are down, and they're not down huge. That some of them are negating yesterday. Some of them had green bars. It's being negated. Transports down day. So when you got to be careful when it's so close to a low like this. This could break down here and it just flips right back up in your face. It's down a lot. It's on support. It's on the 200. And there is news coming out throughout the week. But most of the time, something that has gone down as this much and led the way down, it starts to show some relative strength. We'll be interested to see if this can turn around. The timing of all of this is a little off, meaning I thought the beginning of the month might show some strength. Then if we were going to get the ugliness in October, if it was to come, it would become in the middle of the month. But, the way interest rates keep going up here in the dollar, and they're going to reach some resistance points, it just may happen at the beginning of the month. Just have to see what's going to break it loose. Oh, see, spiders broke the low, greater than 100% retracement. Right, this is the overnight trading. That was yesterday's close. It's breaking down. It's beginning to hold here. Gapping below. This is 25 minutes to go, but gapping below yesterday's bottoming tail bar. Let's crunch this up, but you can see what stopped this down here into this gap fill last week. And then we could get a retest here, even if it breaks the low. Maybe it, set an alert at that 200 MA. If you don't have one set, no need to watch it. But if it comes there, just a little above it, so I have to do it. I have it on my other platform. I just show you, put an alert there. It's just slightly above it. Prices go down there, and the alarm goes off. $6A. Jeff, did you want me to look at the Australian dollar? I'm going to say 6A. I don't know if you use Z-Signal as well. But it looks like it's going to nosedive down here. Look, Canada, nosediving. You see the euro coming down to that pivot low that we looked at. And the British pound, they're all going down. So this one through support. This is on the close. So somewhere in here. Somewhere in there. Usually what I just do is I use this thing. Somewhere in there. You can set an alert in here. This may be one of those things that just gives you a heads up. Bitcoin had a kind of wild, yesterday running up here, came back down. Now it's down. Things are a little crazy still. It'll be over soon. Gold, as you know, that broke through support. It looks like it's going lower to that prior low. Silver, I don't know what a whipsaw that was. Talked about that yesterday, and now that's breaking down. So bearish price action everywhere except just interest rates are going up, which, of course, the bond prices are going down. And you can see the 10-year. It's like toboggan slide straight down. And I don't know if there's any support. Near that 104, not too far. Alert to that line. Resets. We'll see what happens. Ugliness everywhere. The weird thing that we talked about in the green room, those that were there, of course, know that. But the internals, right? This advancers minus decliners was so negative even to come down here close to minus 2000. And for the markets to hold there as well as they did, it's like, what the hell is going on? So something was being adjusted. I don't know what, but when you have it's not an advanced decline line, so to speak. It's an advancers minus decliners. And when the net is that negative throughout the day, most times markets are trending lower. Well, the Russell was, but, the S&Ps and the Qs held up there all day. So SPY, I'll get to that. SPX. So this was the Jolt report day, if you don't recall. We had the big ugly reversal day, and it looked like that was going to go down, and then the Jolt report came out. So that's coming at 10 o'clock. I don't know that it's going to do this again, but the number is expected to come in. Well, what I'm looking at doesn't show me the consensus, but there was a big drop the last time. It was unexpected. So now they're saying 3.4 million. So when it comes out, we'll see what it comes in at that or much higher. And industrials, SPX today. I write the numbers down. Nothing touched yesterday. I told you down here was going to be a no-brainer, but it didn't get up there either. And today, five. So a bit closer. And prices are down here, right? Just based on where SPY is. I don't think I like this today. Oh, this is much further. It's at the 200 MA. 4,200 is a huge open interest in puts. Things are down already. If they will continue to go down, I think you could do either one again. It's down here. It's beyond the average range. So where this is above the average range. So if it was a positive day on that Jolts report, and it was the last time, you better to pick this one since things are already going down. I think this bottom one is going to be better. More lines of defense. I think that's it for me, Dan. This thing's pretty much looking, a little more on the ugly side. Not terribly so. Tech is holding up relatively well. But when a pattern like that could get a whipsaw. So for those that don't know what the JOLTS report is all about, it's all about how many people leave their jobs. Number of people that quit. I think there are other reports coming out. ADP is a crude oil report, and some guy Bostic is speaking. I guess he's speaking already. So that JOLTS report, as you know, as you've seen, it could be a market mover. All yours, Dan.
Is that why they call it a jolt?
Yeah, it's like, wow, that was a jolt.
Exactly. All right, good morning. All right, so we don't have a lot of earnings here, but let's see what I have in store. Got a couple bottoming patterns we've been watching. Now, yesterday we've been building a watch list long, but I kept saying there's no pattern here. And even on our bullish setups, I didn't want another night of gap risk. And I said, let's wait till today and trade over the high. So what happens many, many times is even though there's no good pattern in the broader markets, we find individual stocks and ETFs that are superior to trade. Like, for example, this is not a good short, as Greg just talked about. But look at this trade we put on yesterday, ENVX, which we're going to have a home run gain here at the open. So this is a sell setup. This is just textbook that we can teach little Johnny, 8-year-old little Johnny. Downtrend, lower low, lower pivot lows, lower pivot highs. Got it. Retracement and reversal at resistance. Got it. 20 and converging 200 MA, that's a plus. Multiple time frame, bear 1, 2, 3, plus. Price void, plus. Buy puts that are liquid, plus. So that this was a beautiful trade yesterday. The shorts via we were bought puts, as I said, for 90 cents. And now we bought the 13 puts. They're going to be over $2 because we have intrinsic value. So that's what I'm getting at, that we find individual stocks that are fantastic. So I just sent an alert out that we will sell another third over a 5-minute high. Yeah, oils. Oops, just typed over something there, darn it. See, it's just not a great setup here. It's opening fairly flat, bottoming tail support. We were talking about oil being toppy last Friday. And I was looking for call spreads on Friday and over the weekend, and there was no juice, and we were looking again yesterday. And Greg rattled off a whole big list of bearish oil, and you would have to. It was not a good credit spread setup, but sure, directional if you had a good pattern. All right, let's just go through my list here. I only had one earnings, MKC. So look, this was a potential setting up, potential W bottom, but now that's a big gap. 70 is gapping down $4. That's over 5%. So I had that at the bottom right. Just going to see what it does. You can see here on the monthly, $70 is the good level. So that's on my watch list. Let's see if it'll bounce. Box, beautiful bottoming pattern. Can't tell where it's opening. That's on my list. We gave Chewy 1/3 position yesterday. Climo weekly, stabilization, hourly breakout. And JetBlue, 1/3 lot is all. Just more bottom fishing here. But lots of boxes on my bottom fishing list. Now this was a beautiful pattern, but the gap up was messing it up. So this was a breakdown failure, greater than 100% retracement, pull back into a WRB, 1, 2, 3 on the weekly, price would. The 200 would have been a logical first target. So that's in alignment with this prior high, but I know it's not earnings, so I don't know why. I don't know what the news is there. But we'll watch it. Maybe put spread idea. Boeing's been getting killed. Let's see. We've been spending a lot of time in the green room the last couple of weeks with this market sell-off, talking about the difference between a climactic buy setup, the way we define it, and nasty, steady selling parallel with the 20 MA, green bars ignored. So this Boeing is just being liquidated, sold. Like a Jets also with the high oil. No turn there yet. SPRC, this looks like a kind of trading like a SPAC kind of thing. Big old gap. I don't know. It might set up if somebody wants to watch it as a day trade. I'm not interested as a swing. A Dodger Rocco, Airbnb, a downgrade. No pattern though, it's range bound. Possibly a Condor for Friday. Hewlett Packard upgrade 26. Now that's another example of steady liquidation. That's not a good Climo. But the gap up might be the start of a bottoming process and possible put spread for Friday. AOUT has very light volume, but I saw a print up here at 995. If it is gapping to 995, and if it had more volume, I would say buy a 30-minute high. Bullish gap. My moving averages all look good. I have an uptrend weekly. Look at that. Roger, Roger. What pattern is this, anybody, on the monthly? We have extra time this morning. What pattern is that? It's I actually wasn't thinking that, Robert, but it's kind of a W, but it's a breakdown. I was thinking more of what came to my mind first, but I'll take W as credit too. It's not ideal W because we want the bounce to be a V top, whereas this was a breakdown from consolidation. You see the difference? So that's why that was not my first choice. My thought is an inverse head and shoulders, right? What's an inverse head and shoulders? Left shoulder, breakdown failure, retracement back to resistance, and bullish price action with a price void above. But volume's problem on that one. I mean, look at utilities yesterday got whacked. I gotta put utilities more conspicuous on my I'll do it later, but yeah, utilities. All right, so this is also a climate. Now, when we enter climos, let's see how it accelerated. So this is the furthest distance from the 20 since this whole decline. Even over here. See, this is not a climo over here. It's just short-term extended. So that just would have been a bounce and a downtrend. This is a climo. We got pickup in volume, and it's a possible wide range ending bar. Now the entry is different. Do I buy over prior bar's high? Do I get a retest? Do I buy a 30-minute high? You know, they set up different. Now notice this one's gapping under this low. So if it can recover, this will be a small breakdown failure on Excel. This will be a breakdown failure on the hourly chart, right? So I'm going to set an alarm at $56. And then we might be interested in nibbling at the bottom of that WRB on the daily, with, you know, with an intraday entry. Look at this knee. Also, look, this looks fantastic. It links for a day trade. Let me put this in a window. Well, I don't need WBA. I already have an alarm on that. But look at this chart. It's a climo, pickup in volume, far from the 20. And remember, I just said XLU is a possible new low reversal on the 15. This one's already pre-market a possible higher low. So this one is showing more signs of a short-term reversal. So this I call a tier 1 setup for a possible day trade. And if it closes strong, or maybe even 30-minute high, I'll be checking out the put spread for Friday. Because when you get climos like this, the put values increase, and we're going to get paid more for selling those puts with the charts. Doing multiple things on my other computer here. All right, sound good? NWS. This was one that Sam actually was looking at shorting. And I said, I do not like it at all as a short. Big old bottom, wide range from this 6-bar turn. And it's a pullback into a WRB. So let's set an alarm at 2090. And then I'd be interested in as a put spread. Any P? Wow, here's another one. It almost I had to double check the symbol because it almost looks like NEE. Are they related at all? NEE, NEP, they look very, is it, Scott? I mean, this 15-minute is all right, cool. But do you see how the pattern made me ask that question? Isn't that interesting? So yeah, that's on the list too. But Scott, we always do in the green room. I give this A/B test, I call it, and I just call it that from the optometrist when the doctor says which picture looks better. Mr. Gibby, A or B, A or B, A or B. And then he adjusts his prescription. We do the same thing all the time in the green room when we're looking at two related companies. Like, all right, which one's better and why? So NEE is superior for a day trade because of 15-minute chart. See that? Raul's on YouTube asking about WMG short. Yeah. The prop, yeah. So, Raul, was that you yesterday that gave me that ENVX? If so, I owe you a rum runner next time you come to Fort Lauderdale, because I was in that trade too. Here I'm looking up. That was you, Raul. Thanks, buddy. All right, so notice that this one's gapping over. It's gapping way up here, Raul, to the 50 MA. So that's a shock gap. So for it to now fail and take out yesterday's low, that's going to be a big fall. So I would not short yesterday's low, but you can set an alarm there, because if it does give it up, you can then short a bounce on a 15-minute or 5-minute chart. So really the gap up, it is making it not a tier 1 for me. Does that make sense? And you're asking about dunking. It's sloppier. I don't like the weekly as a buy setup on support. So maybe day trade. I see it here. Maybe 30-minute low day trade is fine. I'll throw it in the list here. Dunking. I just had an alarm on WBA go off. All right, so this is a beautiful 1, 2, 3 with a beautiful end of day base for a day and 3/4. Look at that 15-minute chart. Now we had this as a long idea in the weekend letter over the WRB, and yesterday just made it significantly better. So that looks fantastic as a short-term, I don't know, 1 to 4 day swing up. You got a Climo and a 180 reversal on the weekly. That looks great. All right, Costco is a put spread idea. What's today, Tuesday? Under, maybe under the 20 MA. It's holding nice relative strength. UNH I found yesterday. Look at that. That's a closing breakout from a bull rectangle consolidation. That looks great. CHW, another little bottoming pattern here I'm watching. Aluminum, bottoming pattern I'm watching. See, they all set up different. STAA looks like a short under yesterday's low now. Patrick, I talked about this one. Yeah, it got an upgrade, but it's still in a power downtrend. I said I'm in no hurry, but it might be setting up for a bottoming action. Piton, I'm hoping we get a small little 1, 2, 3, another bottoming pattern. Etsy, another bottoming pattern. I got an alarm at 65.20. 65.20, I think. Snow, I'm watching a put spread on a pullback, but I really don't want it to go much deeper into this WRB. It really needs to hold right here. Costco up alarm, relative strength, not doing anything here at the open. But let's see. I say here, remember we said in the green room, possible 180 reversal up into the gap fill 20 MA. But I said I'm waiting for today to make sure there's follow through, and there's no follow through, right? That's a bearish gap in yesterday's range. But what if we close at yesterday's close or higher? Then I'm back on the bullish mode. See, I used to have this saying, don't hold any judgments on a stock, ETF, market, whatever. Don't hold any judgments. Trade objective price action. So we can change our opinion on a dime. Greg, your DPZ low alarm. I'll give it a few minutes. We were watching this as a possible all spread candidate. Let's reset the same alarm, 379. It's kind of spreading. All right, box gapping down. I'm going to set a new alarm, maybe 2468. See if it can recover this gap down. Oh, our ENVX. I said that's a beautiful gap. $13 puts. All right, midpoint is 255. So just sell half, whatever you can. That's a monster gain. We bought at 90 cents. So you can do the math on that yourself. Beautiful gain. Good job, Raul. Thank you, Raul. All right, Ryder. I had a low alarm. We have $100 puts. Let's watch that NEE I mentioned. WBA is a go. Looks fantastic. Q's nice wide range 5-minute bar. So I immediately look up at my fangs and see what's moving. Nothing glaringly strong like yesterday, but they were kind of all in unison. So there's really not much there. The AD line yesterday closed near the low, and it's still hanging out near the lows, negative over 1700. That's ugly. A SIBO up alarm. That was on our long list. Look at that, negated a gap. That's another example of bullish price action. I said yesterday I wanted to two things. I wanted to see follow through, number one, and number two, see what the broader markets were doing. Put that in a window. I see Boeing short, a little pop here, but the daily still is nothing. Rollins were short. All right, so MKC bottom right. Yeah, there's not that's not a good pattern to fade, since it's gapping under those 5 bars, so that has a lot of work to do. Coke, we're still short in swing mode. Now let's move our stuff over this pivot right here now. So 55, 57. We have a beautiful open gain on this. I mean, that ENVX is bouncing. There's absolutely no problem to take your entire gain. I mean, we got a beautiful gap down. I moved stop 30-minute high though. See no interest, box got an alarm, WBA flopping around, Boeing. Hey, if Boeing closes at yesterday's high, and it very well could, the way it's ripping right now, then that would be at least a 180 reversal. Definitely not doing it now, but let me see what maybe like the 185s for Friday. 61. It's a $5 wide. It's 45 cents is all. Hey, knee, darn it. I told you I'll watch knee. Knee. It's 9:38. You could nibble, stop yesterday's low. I'm gonna check puts too. Knee looks like a great day trade, target 55 maybe. 3DTE. $50 puts are only 20 cents. That is surprising to me. And I don't trust going out to next week until I see today's close, so day trade only. But I love it. I tell you all what my tier ones are. Semis. Yeah, it's just so sloppy though, Patrick. But if you give me look at Costco going, that was on my put spread list, darn it. Look at that. Daily, weekly, monthly breakout after red bar ignored. This was a gap reversal on earnings. So that is a great pattern. That's UNA. Hey, if I said this exactly yesterday. If UNH closes with a 1, 2, 3, directional tomorrow. It looks great.